Hello, I'm Chris from Lala, where I grew up in the Val. That is the San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles.
Hi, I'm Dar. I grew up here in St. George, Utah. Chris and I met online in 2018, and we've been married since October of 2021.
So, second episode. How do you think the first one went?
I was really glad just to get started. It's not perfect. Neither is the intro. Like our technology, my technology, because this is kind of my baby. I felt like it needed to be done for a long time. And so just the fact that we have an episode in the bag feels really good.
And this is your baby.
Yeah.
If in broadcast terms, coming from broadcast myself, you'd be the producer, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm just along for the ride in a way.
And I'm glad you're along for the ride because it's our story, not just my story,
that's right?
But yeah, I've been, coming up with things that we want to talk about or things that we end up talking about throughout the day. And I was really, honestly, I was inspired by Did You Get My Text, which was Patton Oswalt with Meredith Salinger. And they had a story so much like ours. Like they met online. Well, no, they had a mutual friend that had invited them over and they started getting to know each other kind of through text first.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's talk about inspirations because that's, we were you and I were both inspired to do this by other people. Meredith, obviously.
Totally.
I'm a big Patton Oswalt fan.
Oh, totally.
Gotta admit, I had a major crush on Meredith when.
Of course.
Natty
Why
Gann,
not?
right from Natty Gann.
Well, and honestly,
I wanted to be Natty Gann's friend along with the dog.
Of course. I feel like, and maybe you share this too, I feel like if we knew them in person, we would be BFFs. Like they're our celebrity doppelganger couple. I feel like you're much taller than Patton. I might be
much taller than anybody.
That's true. But I feel like we could totally geek out. We could talk about psychology. We could talk about finding love later in life. We could talk about so many things. And I feel like they're so genuine.
And I could talk about Studio City and Gelson's because that's where they are. And I know all about Gelson's, which is basically a really ritzy supermarket. If you're ever in LA and you want to see like an apple that costs $20 each, go to Gelson's.
Well, and there's two things that really impressed me lately is you showed me what was it? The improvisational scene that he did from Parks and Rec. Yeah. And he just went on and on. He was freaking amazing.
And basically inspired the opening of Book of Boba.
Yeah. I love that they took his ideas and put it into practice.
Yeah.
And then with the anniversary of Patton's first wife passing and how kind and gracious Meredith was. And I know their character and their quality is just, they seem like great people.
So someone else who inspired us, I would say, for many reasons, is Penn and Kim Holderness.
Oh,
the
totally.
Family.
I think we would be like, you have ADD, like Penn has.
ADHD. I have ADHD.
I have anxiety.
So if you haven't read Penn's books on ADHD, that makes it understandable for those who don't have it, and also an inspiration for those who do, like myself. Really check it out.
Well, and it puts a very positive spin. Like so many people, the name itself labels it as a disorder, and it's just not. It's just how your brain works differently, right? It's a difference. It's, but they've been on the air for at least 10, 11 years now.
Two things. One, their first rise to fame was the Christmas Jammies YouTube video, but I think we really, I knew about that, but we really caught wind of them.
With Laugh Lines?
Not before Laugh Lines. Amazing Race. We are huge Amazing Race people.
That's right. We don't miss a series, really.
Yeah.
And they won their season. Like, spoiler alert, it's a few years past now, but they were amazing. And I think they're couple goals. Like, you can visibly see the love between them. And I'd like to think we're that way too. But yeah, they're best friends and they have a lot of fun and they let us in on that fun. So.
And also, some other inspirations. Armchair Expert, Dax Shepard.
Love it.
Monica.
I listen to it so often. Monica and Dax, yeah. They have such a wide variety of topics and they delve so deep into it. And they ask the questions that we want to know, right? It's more of an academic, I feel, podcast, but yeah.
And I know for both of us, we are big Brene Brown people. We love you, Brene.
Love you.
Not a chance you're watching this little dinky
Well, but I mean, I found her on YouTube, the power of vulnerability, and basically growth can't happen unless you're willing to be vulnerable, right?
Vulnerable and boundaries.
Boundaries.
We'll talk in future episodes, I think, about that, how to deal with those boundaries, whether it's the ex-wife, whether it's
what keeps you and the other person or other people safe. Like there is a point where you're like, now you've gone too far,
And you've always been a massive, and I love her to death too, but I mean, you live and die by Oprah.
Oprah's my girl. I love her. Like, I think I watched every episode of the Oprah Winfrey Show for 25 years that she was on, 4:00 on ABC4. Loved it all through high school.
ABC7 Los Angeles.
When she started her own network. I mean, I followed her and even her podcast now. Like, I feel like she genuinely wants to share what she learns and to make other people's lives better. At least that's the feeling that I get.
I think it's funny that I said like Oprah Winfrey, as if everyone does know her.
She's a one-namer.
Like, is that Oprah Smith, Oprah Jones? No, Oprah Winfrey.
No,
yes.
Yeah.
Someone else we're going to introduce. You'll see her occasionally jumping on my lap.
Yes.
Like in the last episode.
Yes.
Is our cat Lottie.
Yes. Do you want to say how we?
Well, I think we alluded to this in the last episode. Come here, Lottie. Can you come up here?
Good girl.
Good girl. There she is. This is Lottie right here.
She's a very good girl.
And we discovered her. She doesn't like me.
Well, a family member discovered her. Really,
yes.
Really.
She's named Lottie because as a kitten, she was found by the wonderful organization here called Rescue Cats. Rescue animals in a parking lot. So that's why she's Lottie. We kept the name because
it fit.
It's very Welsh, actually.
And she brings so much. She's actually a certified emotional support animal, and she has brought so much life to our family. She's been with us, I want to say 7 years now. But yeah, I will try to upload some photos or some video of her just so you can enjoy it.
You'll see some right now, but something that when she was younger, how old is she now? Like
I think she's 7 or 8
7
now.
or 8.
Yeah.
When she was younger, we would, I would say, let's go. I'd say OUT because I say outside, she's going to go berserk right now. And she would jump on my shoulder.
Yeah.
She doesn't do that anymore.
She's gained a little weight and age since then, so it's not as easy for her.
But she is amazing. And if you have I'd strongly recommend, if you are thinking of a pet, look to the shelters, look to these agencies like Rescue Cats here, Rescue in
or
RSQ,
Paws,
here in St. George,
or Best Friends Animal Sanctuary in Kanab. Like, there's so many good animal charities out there and they know when you rescue them. They know that you've saved their life, especially if it's a kill shelter. Like, anything you can do just to adopt, we would or even donate food, donate anything you can to these organizations.
I mean, I've done stories, as you know. I won an award for a story on so-called puppy mills, and there's a lot of people who just have issues with how they're basically bred in these factories practically. But Lottie she was with us during the pandemic, and she's just been wonderful. So we're showing you as we go along a couple of videos and stuff.
Yeah.
But she is an amazing cat.
She's awesome.
With that's a little bit of recap and inspirations, and we're going to take a little bit of a break if that's okay.
Sounds good.
We'll be back with some more La La to Utah.
Welcome back. This next segment is called What's on Our Mind.
We really want to start. I mean, we're going to figure out like songs that will be like, what's on our mind?
We will.
But we're just starting out.
One thing at a time. We'll get there.
But during our break,
there's There's a box right there.
Your sister, yeah. It's a Stranger Things Happy Meal.
I'll grab it.
Okay, she's grabbing it. So, no pay advertisement, but it's McDonald's Happy Meal, which with our weight loss, Happy Meals, we share one that. Happy Meal, and we're full.
Yeah.
So it's like this is like
the tiny little fry.
Before our weight loss surgery, this would not even,
it would have been a snack.
McDonald's never filled me up.
Yeah.
And now one Happy Meal, half of one Happy Meal does, but
yeah.
I digress. It comes with the Stranger Things figure. I'm going to open it up because I'm curious what this is. Yep. So it says Mike. So I assume it's Mike.
Yep.
Mike.
That's a good assumption.
From Stranger Things.
Yep.
Okay. It's a box. Okay. It's a box. What's in the box?
It looks like the Bowers, like little,
I'm going to try to open it. It has like a circular thing and I'm trying to open it. Okay, do I line this up? Okay, this is not quite.
There's a picture on the front that you need to line up.
Yeah, I think. Okay, if I'm having trouble with this, would a kid have trouble?
Did you get it?
No.
Okay, I think. Let's see if I got it.
Did you figure this out?
Let me try.
You just see what happens. She'll figure it out after I have many fruitless efforts.
Got it. Yep, we got it.
There you go. Oh, what's in there? Oh, it's Mike. I don't know if we can. We'll show a
snap.
Still store snap when we you'll see right now. But it looks like what is he? He's like holding up a walkie. It looks like it looks like he's being held up, like hands up, which I don't remember in Stranger Things.
I think he's got the walkie that he's like.
Yeah. So.
Code red.
All right, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good job, McDonald's.
Yeah, very cool.
Trivia: what was the first McDonald's Happy Meal?
I don't know. What was it?
I remember it. Because it was the Star Trek meal.
Star Trek? Wow.
For the first Star Trek motion picture.
Wow.
We can go on about Star Trek movies later. But I'm wearing next gen characters. But yeah, so that is it wasn't meant to be a regular thing.
Yeah.
They just made this special Star Trek meal and it was such a hit. It had a little Klingon or some kind of Star Trek toy, a little Enterprise. I remember this is cool. And at the time, Burger King was all about Star Wars. You got the Star Wars cup. So it was like the response. So it was a fast food Star Trek versus Star Wars.
Such a great marketing idea that has been integrated our whole lifetime, basically, since we were young kids.
And so we are old enough to remember when the Happy Meal was new. So that right there, if you're younger, you're going, boy, they're old.
But we're not old.
We're not old. So part of what's on our minds, we talk about things happening during the week. We try to be as positive as possible. As a objective journalist, for the most part, I'm not going to be too opinionated, but my wife is. So let's talk about what we want to talk about.
Well, the first thing that's on my mind is Stephen Colbert. So I've watched him. I mean, my sister and I went to a recording of the Colbert Report, like a live taping.
I never got that privilege.
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. As a human being, I just love him.
Yeah.
He's a true devout Catholic. He's a man of character. He seems to try to uplift as well. Like he doesn't really trash talk people. I will just miss his spin on politics, especially how you can kind of get the news of the day, get the gist of it through his monologue.
And there was joy to it.
Yeah.
I have to say. But I remember him all the way back to before Daily Show. He was on the Dana Carvey. You can find him on YouTube. There were some great episodes where they just, in prime time, they just did some pretty experimental stuff. So Colbert was on it and Steve Carell was on it. And then they both went to the Daily Show and the rest is history. But
I'll miss him a lot.
His humor is amazing. Yeah. Right now we're going through something in this country. Some people are calling it the war on laughter, the war on free expression.
Which is why, even more reason, we're starting this up because we want to spread laughter. We want to uplift. We don't want to cause more pain or havoc. So, and
it is weird. It's a dilemma in journalism. I have to say that things that used to be. It wasn't biased to say we like laughter.
Or that the immunizations are a good idea. Or that science is good. Like all of those things.
And now we have to be careful. Are we taking a side?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is really weird. As a teacher, as a journalist, we're living in a really weird time. And I'm concerned, and I know you're concerned, that I'm seeing journalists not able to tell the real story, that they're losing their jobs. There are things that are happening, and we won't get into that too much today.
Sure.
But I mean, when 60 Minutes is going off the air, or that its ratings are plumping, or that Anderson Cooper, he's not a part of it anymore.
Well, I think the biggest thing on that I find baffling, if you want to take away the politics of it, if you want to take away, is you have a show that for almost my whole life, lifetime has been consistently in the top 10.
Yeah.
We're talking 1980 when All in the Family was on, 60 Minutes was there. When Cosby Show was on, 60 Minutes was in the top 10.
I just really miss that reliable source of news, that it's not sharing for ratings. That's not the goal. We need to inform the public. This is happening.
Right. But what's baffling to me, though, is this is your cash cow. So why are you doing anything? I mean, I understand you want to make adjustments on it, but coming in full scale and say, we're just going to rip this thing apart.
No.
This is new Coke. You don't take something that people...
Coke Classic.
And say, we're going to do new Coke. This right
work.
Now, they're doing new Coke to 60 Minutes. And that's not... I
hope it's a phase. I hope it turns around.
It's a little warning if that to those involved that new Coke didn't work. So new 60 Minutes is not going to work either.
So anyway, most people who care about integrity and if they're a journalist and they can't tell their story, they're having to go on their own channels, really.
So something weight loss related is on your mind.
Yes. So something else. It just hit my radar, and I want to delve into it a little bit more, called lipedema. And so it kind of goes hand in hand with, if you've lost a lot of weight like we have, and you're noticing that certain parts of your body they're not going away, like they're still as big as they used to be or close, there's a good chance that you're dealing with a lymphatic drainage system.
This is new to me, and I've done health.
It's new, yeah, and I can see it. Like I've not been diagnosed by a doctor. I've self-diagnosed this thing just based on what I read, but it basically means that your lymphatic drainage system is blocked up. Like either you haven't been drinking enough water, you haven't been moving enough. It's a circulation issue. And so I'm at the very top of that, just kind of delving in. I ordered some leggings that are supposed to improve circulation and some supplements that are supposed to help you hydrate. So that's kind of my next thing.
I think we'll kind of cover this extensively.
I think I'll do more in the future.
We should do just a whole segment.
Yeah, I think so. And it is genetic. There's a genetic component.
But something on my mind is I should mention that Dar's birthday is approaching.
Yes, on Saturday. I'll be 54.
Wow, you publicly giving...
Yep.
She's 54. I'm 15. I will always be 15.
No, that's a legal issue for me. So don't be that young.
I'm sorry. Well,
you're 6 months younger.
I am. She is a cougar. I am the younger person in this relationship. I'm always going to be younger.
Yes, and age is a state of mind, right? We're always just going to be big kids.
It really is. Yeah. And speaking of being a big kid, I have my addiction right now.
Yes, he's so obsessed.
Once again, not a paid sponsor, but but please, if you want Cha-Cha, you want to be a paid sponsor?
If you want to make you
I'm
happy.
addicted to your stuff here, guys.
Yes.
Coconut sunflower seeds. This is the best. I mean, I've had, Dar's, we've ordered cups. I can only fill the cup, and that's,
We had to limit it because otherwise you would be snacking on it all day long.
All day, 24 hours a day, I would have these.
Yeah.
It's coconut flavor. It's natural ingredients. It's from, I don't know if it's from Malaysia or it's from somewhere in Asia.
But the brand is Cha-Cha.
Cha-Cha.
And these are coconut flavored. And he since you discovered them, we have not run out in the house. Like you had to have a regular stock.
We have at least 3 or 4 of these right now, and I order more as we go along.
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
So speaking of orders, I guess we have to order on for some wonderful paid advertising that is not Cha-Cha probably. Maybe it will be. Maybe I'll go to Cha-Cha commercial coming right up.
Yep.
Or this is. I don't know. But we'll be back more from Lottie, Utah.
Right after that.
And we're back. And we really need to come up with a title of this segment. But it's basically what programs, what movies we're into this week. And we always do. But we just watched the finale of a show that I as a lover of alternate history and the space program, this is like, and the fact I love Ron Moore, who brought us who came to us through Star Trek Next Generation at first. He literally just wrote in so kind of do a script, and he ended up on the show, doing a script for the show. And
Battlestar Galactica,
Outlander,
yeah,
and a lot of other stuff. But it's called For All Mankind, and its season 5 finale just came on.
It was yesterday, wasn't it? Or
yeah,
last couple days?
Just in a gist, it's basically an alternate world, let's say, where the Russians get to the moon first and walk before the U.S., and it just it's domino effect from there. It's fascinating.
And each season jumps ahead a decade.
And not like that, but basically because the moon race never ended, technology is, at least space travel wise, is fat. So it's 20, I think it's 2011, 2012. And this season's about what goes on a Mars base, to give you an idea.
Yeah.
And so the finale just happened. We're not going to do any spoilers.
No spoilers.
But what do you think?
Very enjoyable. I mean, it's interesting, clear back from the beginning, to see them dressed in the 60s. And, each year, each season jumps ahead 10 years. Just how they say, well, John Lennon didn't die, and so they played Live Aid, or
Beatles play Live Aid.
Yeah, it takes the history that we know and kind of goes into a different timeline.
There's a woman lesbian president in the 1990s.
90s, I think.
Yeah. It's a different, in a lot of ways, it's a much better world, though it also has its growing pains, and that's what happened this season.
Yeah.
It kind of went through those growing pains.
Yeah.
What Moore has always said is it's meant to almost be the star of Star Trek, like how they got there.
Okay.
Though it's not. I mean, it's not in canon or anything.
Totally different,
Obviously, they've been leading to what's going to be its final season next year, which takes place in the 2020s. So they've caught up to us, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're going to leap at current time. It's just fascinating that at this point they've just discovered. Well, they discovered something, and it's going to lead to the next season. But it's really a show that a lot of people have not. Every time I bring this up with people, like, what is this show?
Well, and it's on Apple, and Apple doesn't promote it a lot. It's just they'll drop an episode, and you're like, whoa. And then the new spin-off, which we have not watched yet, we're about to. It's called Star City, which is from the Soviet perspective, because in the show, because the Soviets got there first, Soviet Union still exists. It didn't stop. So it's kind of fascinating too. Just the geopolitics and all that. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
So we went to,
movies.
We're Star Wars people. So what do you think we saw?
Yeah, Mandalorian and Grogu, of course.
Of course. And I think I'm going to get into the dark side of fandom right now, which is all the trolls that it's all they want to do is hate. And we loved it. We
don't want any of that hate here. Like,
no.
Yeah, we're not.
But I mean, clearly, and we know from stories that it was meant to be season 4 of the show.
Yeah, it was. It was already written.
They, Disney Powers B said, let's make it a movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel truncated. It doesn't feel like we're watching 9 episodes.
It had a good pace to it.
It had a good pace.
It didn't have a lot of exposition at the beginning.
Yeah.
So if you have never seen an episode of The Mandalorian, you might be a little lost as to who these characters are.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's so much that if you've never seen it, you can pick it up pretty quickly.
It was great Star Wars. And I think part of the problem that's happened is because it's an internet thing. I mean, because people, spoilers, number one, I mean, there's this new tendency from some awful sites that are usually done by AI to almost put a spoiler in the title.
In the title, yeah.
XX died. Let's talk about it.
Why?
And I'm not saying anyone died or lived in Mandalorian Glory.
No, that's just an example.
But it's like, so there's that. And I think people have an expectation in their head, and we always have. I mean, I remember as a kid, I had an expectation what Return of the Jedi was going to be. But let the creator do their story. I mean, if you don't like it, fine. But don't say, this is what I thought was going to happen. Well, you aren't making the Mandalorian Grogu, are you? You're not George Lucas.
You can create your own fandom. It's okay.
Create your own fandom, create your own thing.
It's
that's
okay.
But what I was satisfied. I can, without spoiling anything, I don't think it advanced Star Wars a great deal. There are some great new characters and some returning characters who were once babies. But
a lot happened that was endearing or that showed the closeness of the characters. It felt like episodes of a season that there's got to be more coming, right?
Exactly. It's great Star Wars. like I said, I think the ultimate goal from Jon Favreau and the powers that be, who now and Dave Filoni, who it's funny because you actually see the culmination of a lot of stuff he established in his very first thing. The very first episode of Clone Wars was his first Star Wars thing. So it introduced Ahsoka, amazing character, which was co-created by Lucas. And Jabba's son, who's a baby in that, and he's a big, buff. I remember people were like, "How can Hutts be buff?"
Yeah, he is. They make him buff.
Let's start with the fact that have you seen an actual Hutt in real life? No, you haven't. So if the Hutts are suddenly you can be buff, let them be buff. You know, Jabba just sat around all day. His son basically works out, goes to Summit Athletic or Holiday Fitness.
He becomes like a wrestler kind of thing. Like he becomes monetized. He becomes kind of a celebrity.
It does feel a bit though like, and I'm not trying to. I mean, you know, there's a little bit of the Disney corporateness to me where I feel like they're trying to ultimately create the Star Wars Avengers, where Jabba's son is basically the Hulk, Jin Jardin, the Mandalorian. That. I know, it'd be great. And Ahsoka is kind of a Black Widow, though she's got more powers than just doing this. So, I mean, I think we know it always was meant to be season 4 of The Mandalorian, then season 2 of Ahsoka, which is coming up next year.
Yeah.
And then a big old, everyone comes together, Ahsoka, and the people from Star Wars Rebels, which has been great to. Another thing, by the way, people were ragging on Ahsoka. I thought it was great.
It was great. Yeah.
It was fantastic. Certainly see people like Ezra Bridger in live action.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's been a joy for me having loved.
Rebels wasn't on my radar until you showed me the cartoons. Right. I hadn't seen any of that. And there's so much that happens in these movies or in the series that were established as canon in the cartoons. And so if you don't know that background.
And I think that's because people look at animation as being just for kids.
Sure.
It's not. I mean, but you probably thought, oh, it's this kid's Star Wars cartoon. I'm not watching it.
It just wasn't on my radar.
It's the same writers. And there's some amazing. I mean, Star Wars Rebels, especially, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
It's great Star Wars, and this was great Star Wars. Yeah. And if you like Star Wars, certainly if you love the series, you'll love this. If you don't like Star Wars, I don't know. I mean, maybe you won't.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you view it, to me, I loved. Basically, I call it Space Chicago and Space Louisiana Bayou. They have in the movie, and I thought. Even and of course, the music by Gordonson is just like he's won 2 Oscars in a row for a reason. He's just brilliant. His Space Chicago music, I keep playing it. It's awesome.
Well, we're just going to be baked in fans for every Star Wars thing because, I mean,
it's okay to be critical. It's okay to say,
it is.
And certainly, I mean, let's go to Star Trek.
Yeah.
Everyone universally, as much as we love Michelle, Section 31 was awful. Absolutely awful.
Yeah.
Well,
but getting back to, what was it? Andor.
Oh.
And The Acolyte. I liked both of those too. And there are episodes of Andor that are so relevant. That are so well done.
And I remember when Andor was coming out, people were like, because it started slow. It's like people, this is so soft.
Yeah, but there was a lot of texture to it. There was a lot of subtext.
And everyone says this is a great. It's like. Another key example, the Star Wars sequels, I will stand by, and that Last Jedi is one of the best Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
But everyone's like, once again, they had their fandom in their head where the story goes, this isn't what I thought, so bring J.J. Abrams back. So I bring him back for Last of Skywalker, and it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. So now everyone thinks that stinks, and we'll bring back Last Jedi, we'll bring back, the people who made that. People just watch.
Or don't watch if you don't like it.
Or don't watch if you don't like it. And it's okay. It's okay to be critical,
if they don't like it.
Mindless,
Yeah. But we just don't have to take everything down. We just don't have to be so negative all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just a middle ground. There's a critical eye and there's a negative eye.
Yeah.
We just have a critical eye. So.
Okay. Well, we're out of time.
Is our time up for the segment?
We went way past.
We can talk forever on these, but we'll be
back right after this. All right. Well, we're back. And I realized we did not go over our fan gear. Mine is Dearest Gentle Reader from Bridgerton.
Bridgerton.
That's my fan gear today. And yours is?
Indeed. Yes, this is the
Next Gen.
Next Gen. Dark got this for me.
When you were much bigger, you've lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tent on me now, but I still love it. A little
and your
NASA shirt.
NASA shirt, yeah.
So, yeah, that's our pop culture clothing for today. Yep. And this is what we wear. When I was on TV, I couldn't wear this, but
no.
It's pretty much, it's either this or jerseys. Go
true.
Knights.
That's true.
Stanley Cup.
Yep.
So.
Well, we're going to continue with the things that are on our mind. And
Sure.
what's been on my mind lately is the number of YouTube influencers that I have kind of become obsessed with lately.
And inspirations again.
Totally inspirational. The very first one that I want to highlight is Philly and Keely. They're just they're close to my heart because, number one, they helped you with a story. Yeah,
for Fox 13, I did a story on people from other countries coming with the increased fees at Zion.
At the national parks. Yeah.
And Phil and Keely talked to me about it, and they were fantastic.
They were fantastic. They were willing to go on the record with their experience. And I'm not going to spoil it, but they have something major happening in their life. And so please go to their channel. I'll put a link in the comments.
Phil and Keely, they literally live the van life. And a lot of people are doing this now, but
they're from Ireland.
They're from Northern Ireland.
But they've been traveling. They've traveled all around the world, but right now they're in America.
They've been in America.
All the national parks. Mm-hmm. But they're an inspiration in couple goals. I think they're just so cute together, and they're so positive. Again,
they're Chrysalin. Explain when we say someone's a Chrysalin.
It's Chris and Dara Lynn put together, Chrysalin. And what we mean by that is just we can see the true love, the true friendship.
They're best friends.
Yeah, so if you're a Chrysalin, that's couple
goals.
You're
either a Chrysalin or a Phil and Keely. They're both synonyms.
Yeah.
So
going on, another one that I really love right now is Rewilding Jude. So Jude bought a piece of property in northern Scotland, and he is renovating it. He's doing a lot of upcycling, using a lot of things. Like if he took down a shed, he'll reuse that to build like a storage facility or like for his chicken coop. And the visuals are so soothing. And just his personality and the way that he conveys things and the cinematography. And I'm a little obsessed with Jude at the moment.
And what I love is you watch him take things on his property, just anything. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't spend any money. He
will if he
sometimes,
needs like a hinge.
He takes old material, old siding that he just happens to have or rock that and he uses it to build sheds and whatnot.
Well, and he's basically starting a brand new type of life, like the slower rural life, and learning it as he goes. And he'll be the first to admit he doesn't have any formal training in using power tools and, designs and things. And he double checks his maths quite a bit. And, it's just, he's figuring things out, and he's living alone, and he's accomplishing so much with like canning and bottling and freezing and figuring out the well and a new water feature. And it's just the visuals for me is what draws me in. And then it's Jude that keeps you there.
And then down in Scotland, that's up in Scotland, and down in Wales, there's another group.
Yeah, so it is Restoring Number 4. It's Chris and Paloma, and they're actually, I've seen them on Rewilding Jude, and I've seen them on Philly and Keely. So they're all friends, and I love it. And I would like to think that if we were in the UK, we would be right in there helping out with a project. Serving tea, whatever.
Restoring stuff, driving around vendors.
Yeah. So. Well, I think the Restoring Number 4, they're in Cardiff, I think.
Yeah, just outside, in the outskirts of Cardiff.
The most recent video that we saw was they did kind of a recap of the last 3 years of them redoing their garden and just how much they've accomplished. And it's beautiful. It's amazing. So again, very positive, best friends, like just all of these, the synergy and the positivity and the can-do attitude. These are people doing things themselves and just figuring it out.
And a quick aside, we were in Cardiff and other parts of Wales a few months ago. So that'll be a future episode.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was my first time in the UK.
And I know there's one other, but let's go back to Scotland for a second because there's another Chrysalin.
Simple Scottish Living, which is Zach and Annie. And actually, they have started a little side business that if you are relocating to Scotland, they're offering their services to help answer questions, to run errands for you, to do anything. They've got a relocation service. But it started out as just kind of a family blog. They're
from California.
Well, Zach is from Scotland.
Yeah.
But they met in, I think, Georgia, at a children's camp, I think.
Yeah.
And they lived in California. They were together for 10 years before moving back to Scotland to provide their 3 kids a more rural, slower type of life, more like what Zach had. And it's just so fun to watch the updates of, things that they're redoing their kitchen or, going on a hike. They've shown us amazing hiking places.
Yeah.
And it's just, you can tell, again, couple goals, best friends, having so much fun, figuring it out. And
now you're also a sucker. Sucker's the wrong thing. I'm a sucker for certain sites, but I think we want to talk about something you're into, which is...
Well, I'm into all this DIY stuff and relocation stuff, but I found this, he reads tarot.
Yeah.
And it's Dove and Serpent Tarot. And his name is Paul Thomas. And I'm just blown away by he does general readings for each sign, but I've bookmarked probably the last 30 readings. For my specific sign, it comes out Monday and Friday, and I tune in every Monday and Friday. And he's so spot on. And he gives me encouragement. He gives me that spiritual battery recharge that I need.
I think I use, it's because, I'm a sucker for certain sites.
Sure.
This is not you.
It's kind of not your thing.
It's not my thing, but you take it as an inspiration.
I do. It inspires me because there's so much of self-doubt. There's so much just in the world that's so heavy. And so when I hear the language that he uses about being a magic maker and creating your own reality and just being in tune with certain signs of life, and for me, it resonates. It might not resonate with everyone,
right?
But for me, I really love what he's doing on his channel. And he's got a website. He's got a really good following. So if you're into that kind of thing, please tune into Dove and Serpent Tarot.
Dove and Serpent Tarot. So I am a sucker for, for sports aesthetic sites. And, maybe it's part of, being neurotypical, but I love the aesthetics of sports. I used to be a sports reporter, but I love stadiums. I love the looks of uniforms. I can talk all about how I think it's so cool that Dodgers have relatively worn the same uniform. I have a lot of things to say on, just the purity of sports sometimes, and especially the tendency these days to make 19 alternate uniforms to sell uniforms. More product, but just keep it, there's a history. I love the fact, in case of my Dodgers, for example, that I can look at the uniform that, Ohtani's wearing, Kershaw, before he just retired. And it's the same thing that Colfax and Jackie Robinson wore, pretty much. Maybe it's Los Angeles instead of Brooklyn. It's LA instead of a B, but otherwise Dodgers across the front in blue and white. So there are a lot of YouTube channels that 5 Point Vids talks about stadiums. I love that stuff. I love the idiosyncrasies of every place. He has a great series right now on there's just strange things that happen at certain places, whether it's Candlestick Park, the old Cleveland Stadium, things like that. And locally here in St. George, we have some guys. I did a story on them for Fox 13 called GZTs. And they basically tried to rank and compare different sports logos. The story I did on them was when the Utah Olympics logo came out, and they had things to say. A lot of people had things to say about that logo. And I could go on and on about logos too. Certainly, I have a big problem with the fact the Super Bowl logo has been almost the same for like 10 years. I used to love it when every Super Bowl had a different logo, and now it's like the same thing. So, yes, you can be a geek about sports aesthetics as well.
Yes,
so there you go.
True.
So,
and that's it for today's show.
It
really?
is. Wow.
Yeah.
So we had some fun. Our whole goal, is just to hopefully bring a little joy, some conversation,
share some nerdy things that we're into.
But boy, we want to hear from you too.
Yeah.
This is meant to be a two-way conversation, not A
Just
two-way?
move on.
Okay.
So our phone number is 435-990-5824, or you can email us at fromlalatoutah@gmail.com.
And we are basically monogamous. None of that. But it's what we want. We
Like,
aren't.
where are you going with this?
I don't know. It just I said like that, and it just sounds
it
so
sounded
weird.
wrong. It really
It sounds
did.
very wrong.
Yes, it did.
But
So
remember, it's 435-990-5824 if you want to leave us a voicemail. We're not. It is a voicemail. I'm one of those people. I hate to get a live person.
Yeah.
So
just leave a message.
Voicemail, leave a message, or you can email us from lalatoutah@gmail.com.
Thanks for being with us, and we hope you have a great week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
See you Monday. We're coming back because after we recorded this podcast, we heard the news about the firing of Scott Pelley from CBS News and the institution of 60 Minutes. And it kind of correlated with what we were just talking about on Stephen Colbert. So I know we have some thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, it just kind of hit home because as I heard that he spoke his truth to the new ownership, and I was so proud of him, and I know him to be a man of character. And I felt like, yay, finally people are saying what needs to be said. And I wanted other people in that room to stand up and support him, because it's hard to be that one person that says things. But it reminded me of times when I've seen kind of behind the scenes of, oh, well, you can't go after this person because they're whoever they are.
And how do you see behind the scenes?
Sponsor. Well, I'm married to a journalist. I think he's pretty awesome. And we're recently looking for new prospects because of some stories that were done that were investigative and shined a light where maybe some people didn't want it shined. But it's about character. It's about finding the real story. It's about sharing with the public, because it's that first estate. We rely on the press for so much because as citizens, we don't have access to a lot of things. We rely on journalists to tell us what they've discovered and what they have been able to uncover and share it with us. And
I'll tell you, every time I'm sitting in a city council meeting, or I've been sitting in a, developer talking about a new project, a data center, I never ever felt like it's just me there. I'm there because all of you can't be. Mm-hmm. All of you can't just take time out of, there are people who need to have the job to inform the public. Scott Pelley himself, when he accepted the Walter Cronkite Award recently, and you talk about someone rolling in their grave, it'd be Walter Cronkite.
Oh, I miss Walter Cronkite.
But he quoted James Madison, and we're celebrating the 250th anniversary. We have to think about what we're celebrating. Mm-hmm. Are we celebrating just a flag, or are we celebrating what our forefathers created? So going back, he quoted James Madison, who said that without freedom of the press, you don't have any of the other freedoms. Something to think about. And it's just, I can tell you that journalists and the media in general is struggling right now on how to deal with, just like we all are, a society where we're still trying to play by the rules in a world where people are getting away with not playing them. Mm-hmm. And, Mark Elias, he's the lawyer who successfully defeated about 61 lawsuits filed to overturn the 2020 election. And he compared what the media is going through, at least yesterday after Pelley was fired, to what the law firms are dealing with, because the legal profession, another one of our pillars of democracy, is also very much under assault right now. Mm-hmm. And this is what Mike Elias said. He said, reporters at these media institutions are conflicted. On one hand, they see what is happening and want to stop. On the other, speaking out risks losing their jobs and inviting professional criticism. And, if you know my recent situation, I know this firsthand, just like, I don't want to compare myself to Scott Pelley by any means, but
same job. Same reason to get let go is, standing by your story, your sources, your character.
My values, my integrity.
Yeah.
So So I know it's a heavy subject right now, and I know we could talk forever on this, but we're all dealing with heavy stuff right now. So, I spoke, ironically, a couple weeks before I was sacked, as the British would say. I spoke at a First Amendment symposium over at Utah Tech, run by the amazing group of folks there in the Department of Political Science. And I had a student in tears coming up to me, saying that they're worried about the First Amendment. They're worried that our democracy is failing us. And they asked, what can they do? Not everyone's a journalist. And I simply said, you do have the power to not just spread the first thing you see on social media without checking multiple sources. Carl Sagan said, and I always like to quote Carl Sagan, that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So look for more than one source. Get out of your echo chambers and look to other sources.
Reputable sources. Yeah.
That I know we all think X is biased and X is biased, but there really are journalists out there, I can tell you, who check the facts, who take this seriously.
And facts do exist.
Facts
It's
facts
not just
matter.
opinion.
Alternative facts is not a thing.
No.
Just like one is always one, it's not two. But that's it's really heavy right now. So also take time to make sure mentally you take a breath.
Do things you enjoy.
But also stand up. And I know you like to talk about how it starts with one person and goes from there, right?
Well, I mean, I think we all think, what can one person do? What can I do? Like, when I saw Anderson Cooper leaving 60 Minutes, and all these people, all these journalists are being silenced or being told to include things in their stories that weren't factual or kind of had a skew. I'm like, I can't support CBS anymore. I just can't. I know it's just one person, it's just one subscription, but I can't. As much as I love Gayle King and her morning show, I will miss her, because she and my friend Oprah, like, I just love them, but I can't do it. I can't support CBS. I can't support what they're doing, and I hope that if enough of us put our money where our mouth is, that's where the power is. The people have the power, and right now it's where you spend your money. They kind of don't care about all these protests. They don't see the streets full of protesters with the current government and the current client. They don't seem to care. It's about the bottom line. So I guess that's what we have to do, is just hit them where it matters.
And, just take care of each other as much as we can right now through this. So with that, we really will go ahead and try to take a break now.
We will, yes. And look for glimmers. Look for the positive. Be kind. Love your neighbors.
There's always a sunrise after the darkness.
Yeah. Try to be that light.
Be that light. Right. That sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll be back.